Hi, I'm David, and I'm here to talk about the wood kiln rebuilding workshop I participated in recently. I'm a member of the Mount Pleasant Potters Guild, which is based out of North Mount Pleasant Arts Centre. Our old wood kiln had reached the end of its lifespan, which is about 150 to 200 firings, and was not repairable. So our guild and the city put on a seminar to build a new kiln. Our group consisted of 3 students from the Alberta College of Art and Design, Amber, Leah, and Katie, seen here sitting inside the kiln, and 4 guild members, Joni, myself, Sarah, and Joan. Assisting in a multitude of ways was Sean, a technician here at the centre. We contacted Aaron Nelson, who is the artistic director of the Medicine Hat Clay Industries National Historic District, to aid us in leading our group to reconstruct the kiln. We decided all we could salvage was the cinder block base of the arch and chimney of the old kiln. We poured a new base for the firebox. Because the kiln is a dynamic structure that moves as it heats and cools, we can only use traditional bricklaying techniques in a very few places. Instead, we use a clay slurry to plug the irregularities between the bricks and create a gas seal that increases the heat retention of the kiln while allowing the structure to move. This mortarless construction means every brick has to be leveled both to itself and to all the surrounding bricks on its level. We used clay sand mix to level inconsistencies and to provide large fill areas between the bricks. And we used a thin slip for gas seals. This slip was of a fire clay mix so that it could withstand the temperatures of the kiln and not be burned out. For the kiln construction, we used 2 types of brick, a hard, durable brick to withstand the atmosphere of the fire itself, and a soft brick for insulation. The kiln has a hard interior shell with an insulating exterior shell of soft brick to keep the heat in. We decided to split into 2 teams. One team concentrated on building the firebox and bringing it to the level of the kiln floor. The firebox provided an opportunity to incorporate a second type of arch into our kiln design. We designed the ash cleanout with a sprung arch form, both for artistic merit and for increased airflow. The other team worked on building the form for the main body of the kiln. There are many types of arches. We used a catenary arch, which is an arch that is formed when you hang a chain between 2 points. The resulting line is a freestanding arch with no lateral force at the base. And since the only thing keeping this pile of bricks from tumbling down is gravity, no lateral force is a good thing. Once the arch form was made, we planned out the courses and the mix of angle cut and straight brick needed to best fit the line of the form. We positioned the form on the kiln firebox base structure and started laying the hard brick for the first layer of the kiln. The arch construction required the most attention to maintain level and squaring edges. We built both sides of the arch at the same time to balance the weight load until we could cast the keystone in place. The keystone was made with high alumina fireproof mortar to withstand the tremendous temperatures of the kiln, and included a small cat motif in honor of our catenary arch. Once the arch was set overnight, the form was removed, and an insulating blanket of rock wool was applied before starting the second shell of soft brick. To minimize the health risks of fibers from the rock wool becoming airborne, the wool was sprayed down with water while it was cut and handled, and masks and gloves were worn. This blanket was then covered with a second shell of insulating soft brick. We now started laying the front and back walls and building the chimney and flue structure. The double wall construction was stabilized by a tie-in row of hard bricks every 5 courses. Precise cutting was required to maintain the level of the 2 walls, soft and hard brick, so the tie-in courses would also be level. The arch is not tied directly to the front or the back walls. This allows the kiln to expand without separating and creating a gap. Viewing ports were incorporated and had to be lined with hard brick to avoid wear. The flue structure and the connection of the arch to the chimney was critical in being able to move the path of the flame through the kilns from front to back and to adjust the rate of flow. Good kiln design requires balancing air intake with air exhaust. We managed the air intake by simply blocking the ports with bricks. The 2 flues allow us to restrict the draw of the chimney to balance the intake and also allow us to move the flame from the front to the back of the kiln. Because of the dynamic nature of the kiln and the mortarless construction we used, a steel frame was welded around the kiln structure after it was finished to increase the longevity of the kiln and for safety considerations. With every firing, the pieces to be fired are loaded into the kiln and the door is rebuilt with loose stacked bricks and sealed over. The bars on the steel frame over the door are removed for loading and then slipped back into place to keep the door from falling and horribly burning the potters feeding the fire. To honor Bob Reimer and his lasting influence at the center, we included a mosaic at the base of the chimney made from shards of some of his old broken pieces. The chimney will rise a further 32 courses to a total height of 179 inches. While we eagerly await our first firing, we can see new residents have already decided to move in.